October 14, 1942. Bumpy Johnson sat alone in his upstairs office above Small's Paradise, reviewing 6 months' worth of ledgers spread out across the desk. Raymond Smooth Taylor was stealing. Not huge sums, nothing flashy, but Bumpy had noticed a pattern over the last 18 weeks. Minor gaps. $80 gone here, $120 there. On their own, forgettable. But stacked up over half a year, 2,200 missing. In 1,942, that was nearly 3 years' wages for the average man. Not fortune money, but far from small. Bumpy recalculated. The pattern was intentional, clean. Smooth wasn't being sloppy, he was building something. A cushion. That meant Smooth was planning for a shift. Bumpy picked up the receiver. Called Illinois Gordon. Track Smooth everywhere he goes. But don't let him spot you. 2 days later, Illinois returned. Boss Jenkins tailed Smooth to East Harlem. Moretti's diner. Sat down with 2 Italians. I stayed 90 minutes, left with an envelope. Bumpy paused, quiet, then nodded once. Call Smooth. Tell him to be in my office tomorrow night. 8 sharp. Say I'm relocating the vault. Every dollar from every Harlem policy bank. Say it'll be held at the 145th Street warehouse overnight before the move. Tell him I need him to verify the count. Illinois blinked, understood instantly. You want him to run and tell the Italians. I'm giving them what they want, Bumpy. Sighed. Me. Alone. With all the cash in one spot. They'll think it's Christmas. What Smooth didn't know, what the Italians couldn't know, was that there was no vault move. No money, but Bumpy would be there. And when Raymond Smooth Taylor led 5 Genovese hitmen into that empty warehouse, dreaming of crowning himself Harlem's new king, he'd learn why you never double-cross the man who taught you how. To count October 11th, 1942, Moretti's Diner, East Harlem. Raymond Smooth Taylor sat across from 2 men who could erase him with one call. Vincent Vinnie Scarpelli, 43 muscle for the Genovese family. Anthony Little Tony Russo, 38, his backup. Both wore sleek suits, but they couldn't hide the bulk of their shoulder holsters. Vinnie slid an envelope across the table. 15 grand, just for showing up. When Bumpy's gone, there's more. A lot more. Raymond stared at it, his palms sweating. What happens after? After? Vinnie grinned. You run Harlem's numbers. We take East Harlem and the Bronx. You kick up 20%. We give you protection, connections, growth. Everybody wins. Little Tony leaned in. Think it over, Raymond. Right now, you're Bumpy's guy. Making what? $60 a week? Killing yourself. While he sits in an office raking it in. We're offering you a real seat at the table. Ownership. Wealth. Something Bumpy will never give you. Raymond had been Bumpy Johnson's numbers coordinator for 6 years. Built the whole system himself. Knew every street, every runner, every dime flowing through Harlem's underground. He also knew all the reasons to walk away. But those reasons had grown heavier over time. 6 years ago, he was 27, working 2 jobs washing dishes by day, driving. Cabs at night just trying to keep his mother and little sister fed. His father, a Pullman porter, died in 1934 when a train derailed outside Pittsburgh. The company gave them $200. That was it. He watched his mother break herself cleaning apartments for white families. Watched his sister drop out of school at 14 to work at a laundry. And he hated it. Hated feeling helpless. Hated watching people he loved suffer while men like Dutch Schultz and Lucky Luciano ran whole blocks. Then, one night in 1936, Raymond picked up a passenger outside Small's Paradise. Bumpy Johnson. They talked. Bumpy asked sharp questions. About numbers, patterns, memory. How Raymond could recall every fare, every street, every dollar. "You've got a numbers brain," Bumpy said. "That's rare." At the ride's end, Bumpy handed him a card. "Come see me tomorrow. I've got work for someone who thinks like you." He started the next week, $50 a week more than he'd ever seen. Within 6 months, his mother stopped cleaning apartments. His sister returned to school. Raymond built the whole numbers operation from memory. No notes, no ledgers, just his mind. Bumpy trusted him, taught him, treated him like blood. For 4 years, Raymond never faltered. Then, in 1940, the foundation cracked. His mother died cancer. By the time it was caught, there was nothing to be done. His sister Eleanor got married, moved to Baltimore. Raymond was alone. Alone and slowly realizing he'd spent 6 years constructing someone else's empire. Now he was 33. No wife, no kids, no legacy. Just a job. A good one, yes, but still a job. He looked downtown, saw white gangsters, men with half his brain, become partners, build empires. And Raymond? Still drawing a paycheck. He never asked Bumpy for more, never demanded a cut. That wasn't how things worked. Bumpy was the king, Raymond just the architect. And architects don't get to sit on thrones. That thought gnawed at him for 2 years. By 1942, he began skimming, not out of greed, but foresight. A safety net, just in case he ever walked away. He never planned to betray Bumpy, not really, but when Vinnie Scarpelli showed up 6 weeks ago, charming, polite, drink in hand, Raymond listened. And now, sitting inside Moretti's, staring at $15,000 in an envelope, he made his choice. He reached out and took it. "There's a warehouse off 145th Street by the river," Raymond said quietly. "Bumpy uses it for major cash moves when he's merging territory money." "When's the next transfer?" Vinnie asked. "I don't know yet," Raymond replied, "but he'll inform me when it's scheduled. I handle all his logistics." "How much are we talking?" "Could be 50, maybe 60 grand. A full week's take from all across Harlem." Vinnie let out a low whistle. "And you'll alert us when it's time?" "Yes." Little Tony leaned back, fingers tapping the table. "Here's how this plays out. You give us the time and location. We'll take care of Bumpy. After that, meet us at Carlos Bar. We go over next steps, who runs what, how the shift works." Raymond gave a slow nod. "And after that, Harlem belongs to me." 75% is yours," Vinnie corrected. "We keep 25. You call the shots, run the game, hire your people. We're partners, nothing more." Partners. That word sat in the air like perfume. Raymond wanted it to be true. Wanted to believe he could finally become what he doved, spent years building toward. But another voice, the cautious one, the survivor from 6 years under Bumpy, was whispering something else. "They're using you. They'll kill you." He pushed the thought down. "If I call, how quick can you move?" 2 hours. 5 of our best. Shooters only." Raymond stood, slipped the envelope into his coat. "I'll be in touch." He walked out of Moretti's diner at 4:42 p.m. Never noticing Tommy Jenkins, 3 booths away. Light-skinned, posing as just another man reading a paper, sipping coffee. Tommy worked for Bumpy Johnson. And within 2 hours, Bumpy would know everything. That same night. Raymond's apartment. 9:47 p.m. He sat on his bed, counting the money for the 3rd time. Clean, crisp hundreds. The kind that changed a man's life. $15,000. He lifted a loose floorboard and slid the cash inside, right next to the $2,200 he'd quietly skimmed over 6 months. $17,200 in total. Enough to vanish. Detroit, Chicago, Philly, somewhere Bumpy's reach didn't extend or enough to stay. Partner with the Italians. Take everything he helped build and finally make it his own. Raymond lay back, staring at the ceiling. 2 paths. 2 futures. Path 1. Call Vinny, set Bumpy up, rule Harlem, finally get what he'd been chasing for 6 years. Path 2. Disappear. Start over before it all blew up. The smart move was clear. Run. Bumpy wasn't someone you crossed and lived to tell it. Even if the Italians succeeded, even if Bumpy ended up dead, there were too many variables. Too many ways for it all to fall apart. But fleeing meant surrender. Meant admitting he'd always be Bumpy's employee. Meant never becoming anything greater. Staying? Risk. Massive risk. But possibility too. Raymond shut his eyes. He'd make the call when it mattered. October 13th, 1942, Tuesday, 4:17 p.m., inside Bumpy Johnson's office. Illinois Gordon sat quietly while his boss examined ledgers with razor-sharp focus. Tommy, Jenkins had called Sunday night just hours. After the Moretti's meeting, he'd reported everything. Every look, every word, every move. Now Bumpy was confirming what he'd quietly suspected for months. For half a year, Bumpy said low, I had you tally every spot, every week. Your numbers versus smooths. He slid 2 ledgers across the desk. Illinois leaned in. The differences were subtle but steady. 139th Street. Smooth logged $847. Illinois had counted $927. Difference. $80.145 TH Street. Smooth said $1,203. Illinois had $1,323. Difference, $120. 26 weeks of tiny shortfalls. Total, $2,200 gone. He's been pocketing, Illinois said. No, Bumpy replied. He's been planning, stockpiling a fallback. At first, Bumpy thought it was fear, just caution. But now he tapped Tommy's report. He's sitting with Genovese soldiers, accepting 15 grand. You want me to take care of it? Illinois asked. Bumpy shook his head slowly. No, I want to see what he's really aiming for. If he's stealing and running, that's one thing. But if he's plotting to replace me, he didn't finish. Didn't have to. What's the move? Tomorrow night, I call him in. Tell him I'm moving the vault. Every dollar from every policy bank. One location. One night. Illinois nodded, already seeing the plan unfold. And if he passes that to the Italians, then we'll know what he is. And act accordingly. Bumpy glanced out the window. Harlem stretched beneath them. 6 years of trust. 6 years of mentorship. 6 years of shared empire about to unravel. You know what hurts the most? Bumpy said, voice nearly a whisper. I was going to make him a partner. 6 months from now. 10% of the whole operation. That was the plan. Illinois didn't say a word. I gave him everything, Bumpy continued. Lifted him out of the gutter. Protected his family. And this is how he repays it. Some men can't be satisfied, boss. No, Bumpy murmured. Some men want more, even if more means burning down everything they've got. He turned back to the books. Set it up, tomorrow night. 8 p.m. Let's see whether Raymond chooses loyalty or greed. October 15th, 1942. Thursday. 8 p.m. Bumpy's office. Raymond stepped inside, wearing the new suit he'd bought with Italian money. His hands were damp, but his face stayed calm. Bumpy sat behind the desk, unmoving, flipping through documents. A glass of bourbon sat beside him, untouched. Smooth, Bumpy said. Glad you made it. Illinois said it was urgent. Take a seat. Raymond lowered himself into the chair, trying to appear at ease. But his pulse was pounding. This was it. The point of no return. For 4 days, his mind had been swinging back and forth. Loyalty or betrayal. Stay or run. And now, the clock was ticking. He still hadn't chosen. I'm relocating the main vault tomorrow night, Bumpy said plainly. We're collecting all the cash from every policy bank before redistribution next week. Raymond's heart sped up. A main vault. That meant tens of thousands. This was it, the moment Vinny had been waiting on. Why move it? Raymond asked. Cops have had eyes on this building for 2 weeks. Same plainclothes units, same time each night. I need a spot they won't be watching. Just for one night. It added up. Raymond had noticed the same patrol patterns. Where? 2. Warehouse off 145th, near the river. I want you there. You'll verify the count before we transport it. Raymond felt his gut tighten. The warehouse. The same location he'd given Vinny. It felt too exact. Too aligned. Who else is coming? Just me and Illinois. That's all. Fewer people. Fewer leaks. 3 men. Stacks of cash. Remote location. Raymond's brain churned. This is either the moment you waited for or the end. What time? Midnight. Be there by 11:30. Help me prep. I'll be there. Bumpy looked at him. Really looked. Locked eyes. Silent. Raymond felt exposed under the weight of that stare. Like Bumpy could see every crack inside him. Every deception. Every plan. Then Bumpy gave a faint, almost tender smile. 6 years, Smooth. You've built everything with me. Whatever comes next, know I'm grateful. You're family to me. The word hit Raymond like a blow. Family. For one sharp, unbearable second, he wanted to tell the truth. Wanted to come clean about Vinny, the meeting, the money. Beg Bumpy to forgive him, but the moment slipped. He'd already taken the cash. And Vinny Scarpelli didn't do refunds. Backing out meant death. Failing meant death. There were no clean exits. Only forward. Raymond stood. Thank you, Bumpy. That means everything. He left the office at 8:27 p.m. By 9:15, he stood at a payphone on 125th, hands trembling, sealing his fate. Yeah? Vinny's voice. It's me, Raymond said. Go ahead. He paused. One breath. One final chance to run. He thought of taking the $17,200 and disappearing tonight. Right now, but then he thought of 6 years in second place. 6 years. Watching others rise while he stayed stuck. 6 years of building another man's empire. He spoke. Tomorrow, midnight. Warehouse on 145th by the river. Bumpy will be there. Every dollar from Harlem's banks. Just him and Illinois. How much? 50, 60 grand, maybe more. Vinny whistled through his teeth. And only 2 guarding it? That's what he said. What about? You? He wants me there early, 11:30, to help set up. Perfect, Vinny replied. You act normal. When we come in, hit the ground. We take care of Bumpy and Illinois. 30 seconds, it's done. Raymond swallowed. How? Many? 5 total. Me, Tony, 3 of our best. It'll be clean. Okay? Midnight. Then Vinny's tone shifted. Warmer. Almost sincere. After this, Smooth, you're set. Harlem is yours. We're real partners. No more answering to anyone. The call ended. Raymond stayed frozen, hands still gripping the receiver. It was done. No turning back. He walked home through Harlem's dark streets, trying not to think about what Bumpy had said. You're family to me. Raymond didn't sleep. October 16, 1942, Friday, 2 p.m., the warehouse. Bumpy stood on the second floor, watching Willie Lee and Marcus Tall work. They were setting up generator-powered floodlights in all 4 corners. Military-grade equipment Illinois had picked up that morning. All 4 aimed directly at the room center, Illinois tested the main switch by the stairwell. Your signal. I flip it. 3 seconds of pure blindness. That's when you... Fire, Bumpy said. Willie, you take whoever's closest to the door. Marcus, you hold the east wall. Illinois, back up and keep your sights on Smooth. Willie Lee gave a calm nod. His Thompson rested against a crate. Marcus checked the pump on his shotgun. What about Smooth? He watches, Bumpy said coldly. Don't touch him. I want him to see everything, understand everything. Then let him live with it. But boss, he turned on you. That's why he doesn't get to die quick. Bumpy's stare was pure frost. Death is release. Death is peace. What I've got planned. Worse. He faced them all. The Italians expect a jackpot. They'll find an empty room. And a lesson. But Smooth, he needs to watch his whole scheme fall apart. Needs to see 5 men drop because of his betrayal. Needs to learn that crossing me doesn't just cost dollars or blocks. It costs everything. Past, present, future. Illinois glanced at his watch. 9 hours, 45 minutes. Bumpy dragged a single wooden chair to the center of the room. No vault, no money, just space. Just silence. He thought about the cab ride 6 years back. About spotting something in Raymond no one else saw. About plans to make him a partner. About trust, how it breaks and never comes back. Positions. Lights off. We wait. October 16th, 1942. 11:47 p.m. Raymond arrived 13 minutes early. His hands had been shaking all day. He'd changed his mind 17 times. Nearly called Vinny to pull the plug. Nearly fled to the train station without looking back. But now, he was here. He pushed open the warehouse door, made his way up the stairs to the second floor. Bumpy sat alone in a chair at the center of the room, calm, collected, like this was just another business sit-down. Illinois leaned against the stair. Rail, arms folded. The space was barren. No vault, no crates, no bundles of cash, nothing. Raymond's stomach lurched. When's the money arriving? He asked. Trucks are behind schedule, Bumpy said evenly. Should be here right at midnight. Raymond gave a short nod, tried to seem casual. Tried to bury the panic rising up his spine. He checked his watch. 11:51. 9 minutes dot in 9 minutes. 5 armed men would come charging up those stairs, expecting to find Bumpy exposed, defenseless, and surrounded by stacks of money. Instead, they'd find, what? An empty room? A trap? Oh God! Oh God! He knows. Raymond's thoughts spiraled. Should he warn Bumpy? Should he run? Should he? 11:58 p.m. Engines outside. Doors slamming. Raymond's veins turned cold. Bumpy rose from the chair and looked at him directly. Deeply. In that instant, Raymond understood. Bumpy had known the whole time. Expecting someone smooth? Raymond's throat closed. His body wouldn't move. Legs numb. Boots echoed on the stairwell. Deliberate. Heavy. Train. 5 men entered the room. Vinny Scarpelli at the front, pistol raised. Little Tony just behind. 3 more spread out. Scanning corners, moving with precision, their eyes swept the room. No cash, no crates, just a bare floor. Bumpy stood firm. Illinois by the stairs. Raymond caught in between. Vinny halted. Confidence draining. Confusion creeping in. Where's the money? Bumpy's voice was soft, frozen. There's no money. Vinny. The word struck Raymond like a blow to the chest. His knees buckled. What? He whispered. There was never a vault. Never a transfer. Just a story I fed Smooth to see what he'd do. Bumpy's gaze never shifted from Raymond. And now I know. Vinny didn't hesitate. Gun turned toward Bumpy. Doesn't matter. You're here. You're dead. I'll take that trade. Bumpy smiled. Not friendly, not amused. A smile carved from something old and lethal. You walked into my house. Your house? Vinny laughed mockingly. You're outnumbered. 5-2. You've got nothing. I've got one thing you don't. Yeah? What's that? The lights. Illinois hit the switch. All 4 floodlights burst to life. Pure, searing white from every corner. Converging on the center of the room. The Italians recoiled, hands flying up to shield their eyes. Blinded, exposed, trapped. Then came the voices. Drop your weapons. Willie. Lee stepped from behind the crates. Thompson's submachine gun locked on Vinny's chest, drum loaded. Ready to sing, Marcus Cole emerged from the eastern shadows. Shotgun aimed and steady. Illinois moved off the stairs. Both .45s drawn, trained. Silent. 3 seconds of complete stillness. The Italians knew. This was a death trap. No angles, no exits. No time. Vinny's face twisted with fury. He'd been outplayed. Badly. His eyes locked onto Raymond. You sold us out. No, Raymond stammered. I swear I didn't know. Quiet, Bumpy said. Calm, cold. Raymond didn't set you up. He's just a fool. A fool who thought he could cross me and walk away breathing. Then Vinny snapped. Maybe it was pride. Maybe it was hopelessness. He turned his gun toward Willie. The Thompson erupted. 20 rounds in 3 seconds. Muzzle flash lit the air. Casings bounced on concrete. Vinny's body shuddered, spun, dropped. Dead before he hit the floor. Little Tony lunged toward the exit. Marcus fired. The slug caught him in the back. His body crashed forward and didn't move again. The rest scrambled. One lifted his gun toward Illinois. 2 quick bursts from the twin .45s, dead center. The man collapsed like his strings had been cut. Another tried to run back toward the stairs. Willie adjusted, fired 5 clean shots. The man fell hard. The 5th, barely more than a kid, stopped cold. Dropped his weapon. Hands raised. Don't, please, I'll walk away. I won't talk, I swear. Marcus pulled the trigger. Once. Then there was only silence. 5 bodies lay. Sprawled across the floor. Blood spreading fast. Gunpowder burning the air. Raymond hadn't moved. Still standing where he'd been when the lights turned on. Frozen in the middle of the mess he'd created. Understanding finally what he had done. What it had cost. Bumpy crossed the room slowly. Raymond backed away until his spine hit the wall. Nowhere to go. Nowhere to hide. Bumpy? Please. 6 years, Smooth. Bumpy's voice was almost a whisper, but it carried weight like steel. I gave you everything. Lifted you out of nothing. Kept your family safe. Taught you the game. Treated you like a son. Raymond's voice cracked. I'm sorry. I swear to God I'm sorry. I didn't. You didn't what? Didn't mean to skim from you for 6 months. Didn't mean to take Italian money. Didn't mean to lead 5 men into my warehouse to kill me. I was lost. I didn't know what I wanted. I kept changing my mind. You made your decision the moment you accepted their cash. Bumpy stepped closer. You know what cuts the deepest? I was planning to make you a partner. 6 months from now. 10% of everything. Raymond's eyes snapped wide. What? 10%. The numbers. The banks. All of it. You'd have been rich, safe, set for life. Bumpy's face was solid stone. But you couldn't wait. You couldn't trust me. You couldn't recognize what was right in front of you. Tears spilled down Raymond's cheeks. I didn't know. I didn't tell you because I was building toward it, because I wanted to be sure you were ready, because I believed you understood loyalty. Bumpy's voice rose just once, and instead you burned it all down for what? $15,000 and a handshake from men who would have put a bullet in you the second you stopped being useful. Raymond's legs buckled. He fell hard to his knees. Please don't kill me. Please, Bumpy. I'll do anything. I'll work for nothing. You think I'm going to kill you? Raymond looked up, a flicker of hope flashing in his eyes. Bumpy's expression was colder than he had ever seen it. No, death is easy. Death is mercy. Death is escape. You're going to live with this. Every day, for the rest of your life. He turned to Illinois. Search him. Illinois yanked Raymond upright, roughly checking his clothes. He pulled out the envelope. $15,000, Illinois said. Bumpy took it. Mine. No, please, that's all I have. That's your future fund? Your way out? Bumpy's voice was ice. You stole it from me. I'm taking it back. Illinois kept searching. Wallet, watch, loose cash, $163. Bumpy took that too. You skimmed $2,200 over 6 months. Add the 15, $17,200 total. I'm taking every cent. How am I supposed to? That's not my problem. Bumpy stepped closer. But first, you need a reminder. Something you'll never forget. Raymond's eyes filled with terror. What are you going to? Willie Lee seized him by the collar and hauled him upright. Hold out your right hand. No, please, no. The cold steel of the Thompson pressed into Raymond's back. Do it. His right hand shook violently. As he extended it, Bumpy grabbed his wrist. Iron grip. Unyielding. You counted my money with these fingers for 6 years. You tracked every dollar. You touched my wealth. Built my empire. He took Raymond's index finger. This is so you remember. Crack. The sound was sharp, wet. Final dot, Raymond screamed, trying to pull away. Bumpy didn't loosen his grip. One more. Please, God, no, please. Bumpy bent the middle finger back slowly. Deliberately, dot, crack, dot. The scream that followed was animal. Pure agony. Raymond collapsed again, clutching his hand, 2 fingers bent wrong, broken, ruined. Pain exploded up his arm. Tears, mucus, sobbing. Why? Why not just kill me? Please, just kill me. Bumpy looked down at him without pity. Only judgment. Because every time you count money from now on, you'll see those fingers. You'll remember what betrayal costs. You'll remember you had everything and threw it away. You'll remember 5 men died because of your choices. And you'll remember I let you live when you deserved death. He turned to Illinois. Get him out. Where? Freight yards by the Hudson. Find a train going west. Put him on it. Illinois dragged Raymond toward the stairs. Bumpy, my hand, I need a doctor. Bumpy didn't turn around. You'll live. Leave my city. If I ever see you in New York again, if I even hear your name, you won't walk away next time. I'll take my time. Raymond stumbled down the stairs, Illinois half carrying him. Behind them, 5 dead Italians. And the man who ended them. The last thing Raymond heard was canvas being unrolled. By morning, all 5 bodies would be in the Harlem River, and Raymond Smooth Taylor would be gone forever. 347. M. Hudson River Freight Yards, Illinois drove. Through miles of rusted rail cars and loading docks. Oil and iron hung heavy in the air. Raymond cradled his shattered hand, wrapped in his blood-soaked jacket. The pain never eased. Every heartbeat burned. Illinois stopped beside a freight train being loaded. Chicago. Leaves in 45 minutes. I don't have a ticket. I don't have money. I don't have anything. Then hide in a boxcar. Illinois opened the door. Get out. Raymond stepped into the darkness. Broken. Finished. Illinois studied him for a moment. Something like pity crossed his face. You had everything. Smooth. Respect. Position. Trust. Family. He was going to make you a partner. 10% of everything. Raymond couldn't speak, and you threw it away. For what? Illinois asked quietly. Italian money you'll never spend? A dream about running Harlem? You betrayed the only man who ever cared about you. Please, he let you live. That's more mercy than you earned. Illinois leaned closer. Disappear. Before he changes his mind. And Smooth? Those broken fingers? That wasn't the punishment. That was just the warning. The real punishment was what came next. Living with it. Every day. Forever. Illinois drove off. Raymond stood in the cold dark, cradling his mangled hand, watching the freight train being loaded under dim industrial lights. He found an empty boxcar, pulled himself in using his good arm, and sat among the shadows and crates in silence. At 4:31 a.m., the train jerked forward, and just like that, Raymond. Smooth Taylor's exile began. By noon, Harlem knew. Bumpy Johnson had set the trap. 5 Genovese soldiers had walked into it. None of them walked out. And the man who tried to sell Bumpy out? Sent west with nothing but pain in his hand. And a pulse in his chest. The message? Sharp, simple, final. You don't cross Bumpy Johnson. Ever. Within days, word reached Vito Genovese in Italy. 5 men lost. 0 gain. Complete humiliation. Frank Costello, still operating out of New York, sent a quiet envoy to Bumpy. Mr. Costello had no prior knowledge. Vito acted alone. Harlem is now off limits permanently to every Italian family. Those were Costello's words. Bumpy accepted. And the war that could have ignited never came, because Bumpy didn't just win through blood. He won through clarity. He turned betrayal into control. A strategist who knew when to pull the trigger and when to let someone live with the weight of what they did. The freight train made several stops. In Pittsburgh, Raymond was found by security. Thrown off. He limped to a church, begged, got $2.50, bought bread, water, kept moving. His fingers twisted and purple were locking up. He couldn't make a fist, couldn't stretch them straight. He rode another train, then another. Stealing food from dock workers. 9 days later, he made it to Detroit. By then, the bones had started healing, crooked, stiff, permanently wrong. He got a job washing dishes. $18 a week. The owner didn't ask questions. Then sweeping floors at a factory, $22 a week. Then, eventually, clerical work at a furniture warehouse. $28. The manager noticed Raymond could do calculations in his head, even with broken fingers. Raymond never told anyone who he was. Never spoke Bumpy's name. Never mentioned Harlem, ever. He lived quietly, carefully, always scanning doorways. And every single time he counted receipts. Every time he did payroll, every time his hand brushed against inventory sheets, he saw those 2 crooked fingers and remembered. Raymond Smooth Taylor died of a heart attack at 53. His obituary in the Detroit Free Press was short. Raymond Taylor, accountant. Survived by Sister Eleanor Williams of Baltimore. No mention of Harlem. No trace of the $17,200 he tried to take. No word of the trap he walked 5 men into. No note of the 10% that had once been his for the taking. For 25 years, he lived in Detroit, quiet, alone, never married, no children. Never returned to New York. Not once. Eleanor came to the funeral. She was the only one there. At the viewing, she noticed something strange. His right hand, 2 fingers, bent at unnatural angles, crooked. She'd always wondered about that. He never explained. And now she'd never know, because nobody knew. Raymond took the truth with him to the grave. If this story of brutal justice and lifelong consequences hit you differently, subscribe right now. We bring you the stories history won't touch, where loyalty ruled where intelligence outplayed bullets and where one mistake could cost you everything, like if those crooked fingers felt like poetic justice. Comment below. Would you have spared Raymond?